Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's session, Workforce Nutrition, as part of the Access to Nutrition Index. I'm Sharon Bly, I lead Health and Sustainability at the Consumer Goods Forum. And alongside my colleagues at GAIN, we have co-founded the Workforce Nutrition Alliance. So we are absolutely thrilled today to bring you through the spotlight on workforce nutrition in India. A very warm welcome to our speakers. We have Uday from Heritage Foods, Babs from ATNI, Manny from Mother Dairy, and Tarun from our partners at GAIN. So we're really excited to bring you through some of the practical guidance and learnings from Heritage Foods and Mother Dairies around driving workforce nutrition, whether it's healthy food at work, supporting breastfeeding mums, nutrition education or nutrition focused health checks. It is always great for us leading the ambition to reach and impact 3 million people by 2025 and 10 million by 2030, to see real examples from the ground, and thrilled today to showcase this focus on India. So we hope to get through your questions. You can see here in your function at the top of the bottom of your screen, you can obviously use the question and answer function, or type it into the chat as we go through today's session. We'll be sharing with you some of the assets and resources that we have as the Workforce Nutrition and that we would encourage all of you to use. So please do use the time with this fabulous panel group of experts that we have with us today to ask any of those questions or challenges that you might have in implementing this across your organization and with your employees. So with that, I will just mention as well that this session is being recorded for those who can't join us live today. At the end of February, if you're listening to this in the future and you do think of a question or something comes up when you're listening to this, don't hesitate to reach out to us at the Workforce Nutrition Alliance. We will get back to you after today's session, and we will of course put our contact details with the recording when we share that with all of you. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. And as I said, keep thinking of your questions and we'll get to them at the end of the session. So I'm going to hand it directly over to Babs from the Access to Nutrition Index. Babs, thank you so much for setting the scene and bringing us into India and all of what you have uncovered and discovered. And I will hand it right over to you, Babs.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Let me share my screen. 1 second. And thank you all for joining today. My name is Babs Ates. I'm a Senior Research Manager at the Access to Nutrition Initiative. And I'm happy to share with you today our findings from the India Index focusing on workforce nutrition. Just a little bit on the Access to Nutrition Initiative, in case you're not familiar with our organization. ATNI, short for Access to Nutrition Initiative, is a global not-for-profit, independent from industry funding, and aims to drive market transformation for improved access to nutrition. We do this through the development and delivery of accountability tools and strategies, and we aim to empower the food system key actors, starting with industry, to accelerate sustainable access to nutrition and affordable food. And since 2013, ATNI has published a suite of indexes, action research, and design tools to benchmark industry and inform on progress. And one of these tools is our India Index, which launched for the first time in 2016, covering then 11 companies. And last November, we launched the third India Index research, increasing our research to cover these 20 companies, the biggest food and beverage companies in India, of which 14 are publicly listed and covering about 36% of sales of packaged food and beverages in India. And our methodology builds on 10 years of experience and input through consultation rounds with companies and experts in the field, and covers 7 categories tailored to the Indian context. These categories are assessed through an extensive questionnaire for which we look for publicly disclosed information, but we also offer companies the opportunity to respond with supporting evidence. And our category on workforce nutrition carries 5% of the total weight and covers 7 questions and 1 multiplier. And it should be noted that 6 out of the 20 companies did not engage, and the evidence submitted or found in the public domain was of varying quality, and therefore our findings might not truly reflect all efforts in place by companies, but it gives a good impression. And the Workforce Nutrition Alliance, already mentioned by Sharon, has identified 4 main types of effective workforce nutrition interventions for companies' employees. And the methodology of our category on workforce nutrition for the India Index is building on these 4 pillars: nutrition education, healthy food at work, nutrition-focused health checks, and breastfeeding support. And we also included a special focus on supply chain workforce. So if we're deep diving into our findings for nutrition education, the first pillar, we found evidence that 10 out of the 20 companies offer a form of nutrition education to their employees, of which 2 companies also share targets in place. Often companies use their intranet site or offer a mobile app for courses on healthy diets. Some companies also offer consultations with a dietitian or nutritionist. And other examples include, for example, hosting monthly webinars or training courses on nutrition-related topics. It's not always clear how these nutrition education materials are developed or the extent to which these interventions are designed to achieve long-term behavioral change. Even though nutrition education is a necessary part of programs aiming to support positive change, if there are non-personalized or short-term educational campaigns, might not translate into eating behavior improvements. So when there's clear attention to employees' nutrition attitudes, beliefs, or relational dynamics, there could be more lasting change promoted. And ideally, it could also be linked more to a focus on access to healthy food at work. An interesting example is the Healthy Heritage League program by Heritage, a 100-day transformation program aimed at improving employee health and nutrition. For this pillar on healthy food at work, we found 9 out of the 20 companies showed evidence of offering healthy food at work in various forms. For example, companies offer healthy meal options, free fruits, discounts on nutritious food, or providing nutrition information such as caloric information. And as part of the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India Eats Right initiative, a special Eat Right Campus voluntary initiative is currently in place in India, which aims to promote safe, healthy, and sustainable food in campuses such as the workplace. And in order to achieve these certificates, 4 different parameters are tested: safe food, healthy food, and sustainable food, as well as building awareness. And if a campus scores 3 or more stars, it's certified as this Eat Right campus. And for our findings, we found 4 companies showing evidence of having these certified campuses in place. It's not always clear how companies define healthy offerings for their canteen menus, or how affordable healthy options are compared to less healthy options. Therefore, there can be scope for companies to improve by increasing employees' access to nutritious meals at work. And ideally, this is also combined, again, with nutrition education campaigns, nudging the workforce to making the healthier choices. For nutrition-focused health checks, we found evidence that 9 out of the 20 companies offer nutrition-focused health checks for their employees, often free of charge, and sometimes also for their partners. Interestingly, many other companies already offer a form of health checks, but without specific attention to nutrition. So companies could make the next step to ensure nutrition-focused health checks are also included for their employees. And studies show that when these nutrition-focused health checks are coupled with individual and confidential counseling, this can further enhance positive nutrition-related outcomes. Further, the aggregated data of these nutrition-focused health checks can be used to evaluate the effectiveness of workforce nutrition programs in place. As an interesting example, the Nestlé Know Your Numbers program includes a health check program focused on assessing overall health profile of their employees, combined with tailored advice for healthy eating, nutrition, and exercise. For breastfeeding support, 4 companies clearly showed evidence of offering breastfeeding support at work through provision of private hygienic rooms, refrigerators, and other flexible working arrangements. And 3 additional companies only demonstrated offering flexible working arrangement or daycare facilities. The level of breastfeeding support offered to women in companies' headquarters appears to be different for those in production sites, as some companies indicated various facilities are only available in their headquarters or office spaces. And further, some companies only offer breastfeeding facilities in locations with over 50 employees. As in India by law, employers are required to offer 26 weeks of maternity leave. For this index, we looked at paternity leave, which is offered, and we found that 8 out of the 20 companies offer at least 15 days of paternity leave or second caregiver leave, which is in line with what is offered to Indian government employees. So overall, it was very promising to see that there are already many good initiatives in place of what we could capture. Unfortunately, the disclosure on workforce nutrition programs in the public domain remains limited, and it's often unclear if programs apply to some or all office workers and production site workers. If initiatives or programs were in place, no clear targets were disclosed, and it's often unclear how healthy was actually defined or what the aimed effect of the designed initiatives was. We also looked what is in place to support the wider workforce through supply chain workers, but evidence remains very limited there. Only 2 companies showed evidence of seeking to improve the health and nutrition of workers across the food value chain in which it's involved, but not directly employed by the company. Therefore, companies are encouraged to ensure they develop and report on their workforce nutrition programs, including healthy food at work, nutrition education, nutrition-related health checks, and breastfeeding support, and ensure it's available to all employees, including those at manufacturing sites. Further, it's important to define quantifiable and meaningful expected outcomes for their workforce nutrition programs and evaluate accordingly. Further, companies are encouraged to develop nutrition programs for the supply chain workers in India, starting with a needs assessment to identify groups at highest risk of experiencing malnutrition. If all of the companies in this index would start a workforce nutrition program, almost 400,000 employees could be reached on access to and knowledge about healthy nutrition, so it can have huge impact and scale. This was on high level our findings for the India Index from 2023 with the focus on workforce nutrition. And you can find the full report also and on our website, including the methodology. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toon.
Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Babs, for the presentation, giving the overview of the Spotlight Index with the 20 participating companies. Uday Kiran from Heritage Foods, over to you to give us your presentation.
Please give me a moment. Yes, I hope everyone can see my screen moving forward. Yes. So first, let me give a glimpse of what actually is Heritage, what we are into, what is our size. Okay, so we are predominantly into premier provider of pure and fresh milk and value-added products. And our vision is to delight every home with fresh and healthy products. And as a company, we believe in nutrition to nation. We have our presence all over India. We have around 18 manufacturing plants spread all over India. And there are multiple operational centers from chilling centers to big manufacturing plants spread all over India. The key takeaway here would be we touch 1.5 million households every day. So this is a basic gist of what Heritage Foods Limited. Coming to the employee count, we are 3,000 plus employees. Yes. Moving forward, what actually is our workforce health and nutrition strategy? So we actually have a purpose to this. We don't usually strategize. We call it as culture building. So we believe in building a culture of well-being that encompasses 3 key elements: physical, mental, and emotional health of our employees. So to this, we have 6 key touch points. 1, nutrition, food options at workplace, promoting mindful eating practices, regular health checkup, stress management and mental health support, periodic health checkups, and providing a supportive environment for the overall work-life balance. So how do we touch these key 6 points? So we have an integrated approach toward this. So the way we integrated this 6 segments is through a program called as Nutriful, which we have internally branded as Healthy Heritage League. So Healthy Heritage League is nothing but it is a long-term initiative focusing on preventive healthcare and mindful nutrition, which basically connects the 6 points which we have just discussed. So we have branded internally as Healthy Heritage League, and we have successfully launched it to all our employees based at each and every location, even metro cities, tier 2, and even tier 3 cities. So it is a unique 3-step holistic model which we have opted for, which encompasses diagnose, design, and develop. So these are the 3 aspects. Under diagnose, basically we went for health checkups to each and every of the 3,000 employees to understand what their body is telling. And also we have onboarded a set of doctors to understand a one-on-one consultations were there to understand what the employee was feeling and also what his body was telling. So from these 2 data points, we have designed lifestyle changes for them. So we have onboarded a set of nutritionists who had one-on-one interaction with all of our employees at even metro cities and tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. So basically lifestyle changes were suggested to them in addition to nutrition changes as well. And also a personalized diet plan was given to each and every employee. So this was under the design part. So diagnose and design. So we felt that when we are launching this initiative, most of the companies stop at this stage. So they diagnose, they design, and they provide the recommendations to employees. But what Heritage Foods did, we went one step ahead and we want to develop their health. So for this, we have understand that employees will have 3 key challenges in taking this program forward. 1, the feasibility. 2, the reliability, and 3, approachability. So first one. So yes, we'll give them a diet plan. So how would they track it? So it is not feasible for them to track it on a day-to-day basis. They have to invest in some other apps. So we as Heritage Foods Limited, we tied up with NTR Trust and we have provided Nutriful app. So we made it feasible for them to understand what they're eating, what quantities they're eating, what calories, how much calories they're intaking, and also reliable. We have given them recommendations to probably walk 2 kilometers or spend this much calories must be spent, but there is no reliable source for them to track it. So we have also provided all of our employees with fitness bands as well to keep their physical activity in check. Last but not the least, approachability. So approachability in the sense we give them a personalized diet plan, but think from an employee point of view, it always sometimes they see it as an extra effort or extra resources required. So we brought food to their place, nutritious food to their place. So even nutritious food is approachable. So with these 3 aspects, we have designed the Nutriful program and delivered it. Yes. Going forward, yes. Because it is a 3,000 employee count spread across India, what challenges did we face? I would like to talk about 2 key challenges. One is awareness and one is sustenance. Yes, to start with, employees may not fully understand the importance of nutrition, especially the employees in tier 3 cities. They might not be very much familiar with as much as employees who are in metro cities and how it impact their health. So what would we do in this case? We have created them multiple awareness sessions on why is it important. We have showed them data which in their vernacular languages. So we have different languages in India with their vernacular languages. State-wise, we have taken awareness sessions. And also, we have brought awareness for the overall program by concentrating on branding. So how we did that? We have branded it as Healthy Heritage League. So when we call it as a league, we have created a sportive environment within. So employees who are eating healthy, nutritious food, who are updating their food intake daily. So we have created leaderboards so that it will create a healthy competition within, and there'll be buy-in from employees. Last but not the least, we have also included their families to be a part of this program. So it is not only restricted to heritage employees, but even heritage employee families can also make use of the app, and also they can measure their food intake. Yes, and the next challenge which we faced was one, sustenance. Yes, success of these initiatives predominantly lies in the sustenance of this program because it is a pan-India program. How did we do this? One, we have leveraged technology. So we have leveraged technology, different mediums like our Nutriful app. We have fitness band, integrated apps for fitness band. Through this, we kept all the data points in check. And also, we have integrated with this organizational culture. So how did we do this? Basically, our leadership led by example. So many of times, these initiatives are given only to employees and leadership would not be a part of it. So that was not the case in Heritage. Even leadership was a part of this initiative and they have actively participated and have set positive examples for employees to follow through. So in this way, we have integrated with our organizational culture. And yes, the tagline of Heritage says nutrition to nation. So before we give nutrition to nation, we believe in giving nutrition to our employees as well. And few impact which I can share with, we have seen an 80% active participation rate for the overall HHL over the 2 years. And over 17% of our employees claim to have achieved their health goal. So what is their health goal? Few people, while having one-on-one consultations with experts and nutritionists, they have chosen that, okay, weight reduction was one of my challenge, diabetes was one of my challenge, cholesterol was one of my challenges. So they have taken a health goal for that particular year. Yes, and to share with diabetes and cholesterol, they have seen an tremendous improvement. So the employees who have chosen this and have improved, we have seen a 35% increase for diabetes and 20% improvement in cholesterol. And we have validated that with FBS and LP profile testing. And yes, while considering the approachability and bringing nutritious food to employees, we have started providing millet meals to our employees. And we have seen 70% of our employees have chosen millet meals at least once a week, and 30% of our employees completely opted for it on a daily basis. And also, we conduct many feedback and awareness sessions on whether it be heart health, diabetes, and yoga sessions, stress management, and everything. So, on an indicative range, around 40% of our employees have learned something new regarding heart health, diabetes, and these new initiatives. Okay, that would be it from my side. Thank you, Taran.
Thank you so much, Uday. Delighted to sort of see the universal application of your
Yes.
Nutriful program across all your locations and all your staff,
Yes,
and the very holistic 6 touch points that you have used.
Yes.
We'll come to Q&A a bit later. I have quite a few questions sort of brimming in my mind. I'm sure the audience has some as well. Thank you so much. And I just want to move to Mani Mishra from Mother Dairy to present Mother Dairy's experience on workforce nutrition, their opportunities, challenges, how they've been approaching this. Over to you, Mani.
Yeah. Hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible. If you could put it in presentation mode,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Mani Mishra, and I represent Corporate Nutrition and Regulatory Affairs from Mother Dairy. Today, I'm very thankful to the team providing me, an opportunity to talk about the safe and nutritious food initiative at Mother Dairy. Going ahead, we all know that what are the foodborne diseases and what is the burden around it. If we come across all the datas and we refer to the WHO reports, we'll find the numbers are very alarming. Though they have reduced a bit, but yes, they are not too good to count upon. And we know that 1 out of almost 10 people fall ill because of the uh, foodborne diseases. 33 million lives are lost yearly. And also, not just on the adults in the adult platform, but we can also see in the age of under the 5 also. And yes, the nutrition is a missing link. We all know that. Yes. And we can't deny that malnutrition affects all regions worldwide. Again, referring to the WHO fact sheets, if you refer from 2021 to 2023, you'll find the data are alarming. Though they have reduced, and the counts have been reduced in the stunted also on the wasted, but still the numbers and the figures are still very alarming. And if you see across the screen, you'll find that we now are not just now, but we are again from quite some time, we have the triple burden of malnutrition, the overweight, the underweight, and the micronutrient deficiencies as well. These are again the numbers from the Indian context. So, if we sum up, economic burden is enormous. And yes, there leads to a concern for our employees where we spend most of the time. That means we all at our workplace accounts up to 8 to 9 hours daily, and thus the concern arises. So yes, employee health and wellness is really important. We all know why it is important. Lack of nutritious diet, healthy lifestyle leads to absenteeism, illness, loss of productivity, and thus this is the cause to the economy. Thus, we can sum up also that key to successful workplace is nothing but its human resource, the healthy and productive employees. Just to mention, we all know that we need to, these are the three pillars and basic utilities to have a healthy lifestyle: eat safe, eat healthy, and eat fortified. Just to give you a snippet, how Mother Dairy had the implementation across was we launched an initiative with the name Sahi Poshan Swasth Jeevan, which you can just see at the logo at the left topmost corner, which means Safe and Nutritious Food Initiative at Mother Dairy. Just talking about how we implemented the thing was in a phase-wise manner. We developed the model into 3 phases, where first the nudging was there to launch an SNF program at workplace, which happened in 2018. We touch base across 3,500 employees at that time and across all the plants and our 3Ps, along with their families. Now, the question arises, it's very difficult and challenging how you move ahead, nudging to the employees' families as well. But we could this, and we will be talking about this in our subsequent slides as well. The second phase was to aware and enable, to make an encompassing scenario or a work area or a module where the health and wellness, the safety part of the food can be talked about through LMS, which is a learning, management skills, the talks, the videos, any kind which nudges the consumers or the employees to drive their attention. What is the importance and significance of safe and nutritious food initiative implementation? Thirdly, it was how we will be implementing it. So, if we talk about the basic idea of implementation was, firstly, we had identified the working group. In the below textual scheme, you will find the working group was not limited to just the person who was having a nutrition knowledge or who was directly linked with kind of the health and wellness of the employees. It encompasses to each and every person and accommodating each and every vertical as well. Now, the question might come to your mind that why this is important, why people from quality, the human resource, the nutrition, of course, you can relate. Why? Because the initiative itself talks about it. Then why these people are very much important? See, the idea of the SNF at Mother Dairy initiative was to bring a holistic and encompassing module, which not just talk about the nutrition, which just not talk about the food, it talks about the safety part, the wellness, and how we marry all these together, bringing up a holistic module for the dissemination across the employees of Mother Dairy. Now, of course, we have had plant representatives as well, the human resource, the HR as well here, so that the dissemination moves out very smoothly. Now, coming back to the one segment is marketing team as well. We also introduced this thing because these these teams help us to develop such kind of module as well for the dissemination, not just restricted to the employees, but also how we communicate on their packs, the packs which are the face of the company, the products which have been bought by the consumer, and the information which can be percolated through the families, the nationwide. The agenda moves on in a key chain manner, right? So, as we discussed in the previous slide, we developed a logo. Again, developing a logo was the first initiative. What the initiative took about how to connect the people. If, say, for example, if I see a logo of my company, or somebody notices the company, his or her company's logo, they have a feeling of okay, this is belongingness, if you can say. So that is the reason it's very much important to nudge the consumers and the employees through a particular logo, how they can connect to it, what we will be talking about with them on these fronts. On the strategic front, if I talk about and the approaches what we followed at Mother Dairy regarding the safe and nutritious food initiative, was the prime of the pyramid was to know the health and wellness, of course. But the three main pillars were awareness, engagement, and thereby nourishment. What we had in our mind to engage the people was to make them see. If we understand why it is important to make people aware, is because food and nutrition is something which has not just the articulatory point of view, but it also has a social and cultural behavioral aspect. And it's a social thing. Food is more often, we celebrate with food. We have certain kind of mini moments in life which we actually celebrate through food, and thereby encompassing how we can nudge on to their nutrition. So awareness was first thing which we talked about. We had a preliminary assessment. What is the level of awareness at Mother Dairy or with Mother Dairy employees on their health parameters, on their nutrition parameter? What basic questions like what they do understand by protein, what kind of protein, how much protein, how much to eat protein, such kind of nudging questions and basic questions were being asked to the employees, so that to get the idea what are the level of understanding about food and nutrition. Then the second phase was of the same initiative on awareness was to deliver talks on that, how we can make them understand about the safe and nutritious food. Then we had we also have, as Babs mentioned, that we have Eat Right campus certifications as well. We also provided them certain kind of videos which are very very simple to understand. While they move on to canteen, they have to wash their hands, what to pick up from the menu, so that they can complete out their meal. If you just come across sometime at Mother Dairy, you will find that the meal here is planned in a cyclic menu. And you will also find that the My Plate concept has been adopted here, so that each and every person can understand and then disseminate the same information to their families, how they can provide them. Because we do not wanted this to be just restrictive to the employees, but also to percolate through their employees as well. Certain kind of awareness posters were placed, so that they can making out the things more often visible things, make us understand this. Yes, the importance of this is more in our life, and we have to pay attention to these. So awareness module was decided on these parameters. We also, on the awareness part, it was a periodic. We didn't find that it should be one day of celebrating one day and then we are quite on the rest of the year. But we also have certain kind of celebratory movements like World Food Day, then we have Dietetics Day in January, then a series of every 2 months a recurring initiative or a talk or a kind of event is being planned at Mother Dairy, so that people have that idea to adopt it more frequently, and they have something imbibed in their daily to day routine. Not just this, we also have eat right messages, like some of you can see on this also. We also put it across on our milk booth. We were at Mother Dairy, we are fortunate enough to have across around 2000 booths, and the dissemination is a bit more often we used to, and we have been fortunate also to have these. We also moved ahead with the kind of health checkups also on our booths as well, free of health checkups, so that not just the employees but also the general public can also come and avail those things. We also had the dissemination factors of, say, providing out nukkar nataks. If you that is a street play, how you nudge, being into the commodity of being delivering fortified. We are into dhara, the edible oil, the safal. From safal we have fruits and vegetables, and fortified products like milk as well. So we were able to disseminate this kind of information also, that why eating right and eating fortified has a dual connection. So it was an a good initiative. This was a yearly long initiative, and it was really successful, and we have a great numbers on that. Now, the second pillar, which we talked about as a strategic approach, was regular health checkup. And this was enabling the consumer from an awareness module, how we shift ahead towards the enabling part of the context or the pillars or the initiative. Regular checkups were being made, not just the basic checkups, but also it was from 2018 to further, it was also moved ahead with kind of micronutrient checkups also. Visit for the dietitians for regular counseling. Special attention was provided on mental health and wellness. So that was also an initiative, or a motivation talks were delivered to avail and think about the health and wellness of the employees. As I just talked about,
I think we have a little
Mari,
connection problem.
yeah, Mari, we lost you. And if we could move to the Q&A session and conclude your presentation.
how to introduce the government initiatives like delivering out the accessible fortified products in our canteens are also very much important. And it was being assured that all the products, staples, should be fortified, and thus the delivery will be happening to the employees as well. At the last, yes, if the work-life balance, health and wellness point, and the mental life, along with the healthy lifestyle, is taken ahead, the productivity of the employees, no doubt, is will be good, and it will lead to healthy and nourished employee, thus to the key to the productivity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mani. Great to see that eating healthy, eating safe, and eating fortified, which were the cornerstone of the Eat Right campaign, became so internalized to Mother Dairy. And good to see that all 3,500 employees participated. And very interesting that you said this reached out to their families. And in your slide, one saw retailers and distributors involved as well. Could you a little bit speak to how you went to your supply chain and how sustainable this entire approach is beyond Mother Dairy to the rest of the ecosystem of your suppliers and distributors? Could you briefly address that, please? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Tarun, for that question. Yes, it was a bit challenging, and we were thinking about how to disseminate this information. What we did is just to emphasize, firstly, on the first page, we adopted this thing that we should actually hit the employees first at the first time, but to percolate the information and disseminate along with the distributors' work On the medium, we used to have a small campaigns. We used to tell them with the kind of meetings we had with them. And it was a key program mechanism. If you see, if you have an extension education, the part of it was to identify a key leader into it. Of course, in homes, we have the women as a key leader to it. We identified each personnel, a key leader out there, initiating the talks and understanding what is the kind of level. And we were very surprised to know on the first fact that the awareness levels were very minimalistic on the first preliminary phase. We were not able to get the ideas on what are the sources of protein, say for example. But in that phase, we identified the key leaders. We gave the module not just to tell them, but also in the form of pamphlet. Also, it was noteworthy that we didn't get through the reading material, which was all together in English. We had the regional languages also. We developed the modules in regional languages also, so that the dissemination is proper and easy going. And of course, identifying the key person and thereby disseminating the information. That was the whole idea, and we adopted it from a concept of extension education.
Thanks, Mani. Very, very useful to learn. Uday, a question sort of for you.
Yes.
You showed some very interesting numbers on employee participation across the
Yes.
organization. And I thought I saw you say it's about 80%,
Yes.
Employees.
Yes.
And you showed certain improvements in specific parameters related to diabetes and cholesterol, etc. I just wanted to know how widely are you reporting, or how widely are you measuring? How frequently are you involving leadership, and how you're disseminating these reports so that there is ongoing engagement with the program in your organization?
Understood.
What is your reporting metric?
Yes. So one of the things would be, while delivering it, Tarun, we actually phased it out. We phased it out for 2 states initially. Then we have piloted the project, and we want to understand, okay, one, in terms of active participation, that would be one of our metric. 2, the rate of adoption for our food intake. So on a regular basis, how many employees are updating their food and how many employees are measuring their calories. And 3, we have an integrated app. We partnered with a fitness band company, and we have an integrated app wherein we'll get the data of these employees. So that is how we have centralized the data. We have piloted for 2 states, and then we have phased it out to other states as well. So these were our key metrics. And also we did half yearly evaluation. So all the tests, for example, if diabetes was chosen as a target for a set of employees, these employees have undergone diabetic test every 6 months.
So Uday, follow up. What is the feedback from staff and employees, and in terms of their morale, in terms of their enthusiasm to continuously participate in this? Is there any systematic sort of data you gather from employees basis what their experience is?
Yes. So, Tarun, it is pretty evident that these kind of programs, as they go through the phase, the adoption rate will, or engagement will get dripped. So we have observed it initially when we have phased it out in the 2 states. We have phased it out in Telangana and AP. We have seen a dip after probably 1 or 2 months. We have seen a slight decreasing in the engagement. So to tackle this, when we have rolled it out to the complete organization, what we did, we started delivering engagement initiatives right at the drop. So we have seen that, okay, 1 hour, 1 month and 0.5 months. So 1.5 months is an ideal time wherein we are starting to see a dip. So this is where we have phased out engagement initiatives. And also how we have pumped the new people in the system is that every employee who is joining our organization, during induction itself, he has been onboarded into this program, and positive affirmations were given to him. So that is how we have maintained the user adoption rate. So when the new employees goes into the system, interacts with the older employees who are already using it, he'll see their benefits. and the older employees started advocating for this app. So once you start advocating for the app, once you start advocating for the program, once you start advocating for everything, actually the engagement will not drop. So that is how we have ensured enough engagement.
Thanks, Uday. Mani, if I could sort of one observation and one question. It was very heartening to see you state that your working group in the organization had your various departments sort of involved. And did you see this as a game changer that did all departments, by the way, show equal enthusiasm? And was this essential to ensure that employees across the organization participated? And was leadership at any level involved in this as well? Just to get your sense of what your experience with this was.
Yeah, certainly, as I mentioned, it was really important, not just it cannot be one man army and going. So it won't be helpful one, because dissemination on a holistic purpose will involve everybody's input. Whether it is, as I mentioned, why these all the working group, why the members are really important, because each domain, each vertical has its own role. As I mentioned, marketing team has a role to identify how the modules and the say for example posters, how they have been developed to nudge the consumer at a point, is very much important. Nutrition personnel will of course identify and noticeably tell what are all the key factors, what are the missing links over there. The plant representative, see, the module which we developed was not just to implement across at the corporate or the headquarters or in the upper levels, but it was to maintain that the key employees or all the employees who are working for Mother Dairy should get the information. And it was thus very much important to say, for example, if I won't have a plant representative, how will I go and nudge the consumers or the employees over there? So it is very much important to have the key personnel involved and the involvement of the upper management to disseminate this kind of information. And once talking about the go ahead launch of Mother Dairy and accredited from FSSAI as first food company to adopt safe and nutritious workplace, is well recognized by the authority. So it itself speaks about that, yes, the involvement was, yes, go ahead, from the upper management as well. They have a key role and importance how it can be disseminated. So to understand the dissemination part of the information, the working group which we identified encompassing all the areas of the employees was very much important and significant. Without them, we would have not been able to run through it.
Thanks, Mani. My final comment. I'm just sort of internalizing that both organizations may have started some of these activities in kind of like a campaign mode, but hopefully this is now part of your business operating model and part and integral to your employee wellness, health, employee engagement, employee productivity lens across your organizations. Excellent to see. Just want to move to some audience questions. So one question, how do you, as organizations, once there is awareness around the need to pivot eating habits towards healthier, more nutritious foods, and if these are a little bit more costly, as they tend to be in different sort of parts of India, basis access and affordability and seasonality, etc. How do you actually convince employees, and what is the response of these employees? Either of you, both of you, if you could kindly respond, starting with Mani.
Okay, thank you. I'll just, yes, of course, the question is really interesting. first of all. And yes, this is one of the biggest challenges. Let me admit that. Affordability happens to be really, really challenging when it comes to, engagement. Or if you read across any of the articles on implementation of workforce nutrition programs across globe, and also in India as well, whichever companies have been adopted, not just the food companies, but other companies as well, you'll find this question is a bit challenging when it comes to affordability. But yes, one thing which needs to be kept in mind is yes, not just eating the just the things which are costly enough will not give you all kind of nutrition. For example, if I take an Indian context, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's an old saying. But if you just modify it little bit, and say for summers are approaching in India, and if you can have or pick out the fruits which are of season, like for example the cucumber, you will definitely get the kind of. So it's about how you manage and make up diet, or your holistically you plan a my plate concept. There are locally available foods which are highly nutritious. We need to understand the local availability of the products, where we can, yes, adopt a bit on the affordability part. uh, Apple may not sound to each and every one of the population to buy 1 kg apple and have it. But yes, of course, cucumbers, the other seasonal vegetables can be of great source of nutrition. Culturally, which the diversity is so much in India, we can adopt whatever is locally available for us. There also we can adopt things, and we can plan our meals in certain ways so that it should be nutritious and thereby healthy. So that is one approach which personally also I follow. And also I will tell the consumers also, so that they can have they can enjoy the meals, they can help a bit on their affordability factors as well.
Thanks, Mary. Uday, over to you. Just a caveat that, you have an excellent sort of healthy food at work component.
Yes.
And I saw some, maize offerings, etc.
Yes.
So a little bit about, whether that added to the company's costs. Was it within your budgets, and
Yes,
how you
it was actually
affordability at the
budgeted.
employee, etc. How do you manage that?
Yes, it was actually budgeted. So we provide the nutritious food option for employees at our workplace itself. However, it's not completely organization given. 70% of it is subsidized. So the remaining cost would be borne by the employee. So this is how we try to bring the food of cost down and the affordability part, and also on influencing employees to take few medicines, because when we suggest some nutritional medicines, employees might not be familiar with them and they might avoid it, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So this is where we have predominantly concentrated on nutraceuticals rather than pharmaceutical medicines. So over the counter available nutraceuticals like ginseng, green tea extract, cod liver oil. So these were the kind of nutraceuticals which we have recommended them. So this is how we have covered the affordability part and influencing them to go forward with this.
So there is an element of subsidy provided by the employer, in this case, Heritage, to sort of catalyze healthy, nutritious offerings, sort of to staff. I mean, just to sort of put it in perspective for the audience and others. So the other thing is how you mentioned one-on-one, employee-specific, customized sort of counseling and checking and possibly dietary, but that could not be extended to families, right?
No, that was not extended.
Is there a way to involve
to
the families in this as well?
The families, it was only extended to families based on, we have taken up the cases on a need basis. It was extended to certain families as well. However, on a end-to-end basis, it was for employees. Personalized plan was for employees.
Great. So thank you so much. Are there any specific additional questions from the audience, I don't see additional questions here. Let me hand over to Barbel, who is the global lead on workforce nutrition at GAIN, for her observations, comments, and recommendations. Barbel, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Tarun. I just want to conclude the seminar by really I'm very touched to see Heritage Foods and Mother Dairy really taking the lead and being an example and shaping the possibilities at the workplace, which we are all having. So we can say from the global perspective, we are together with the Consumer Goods Forum, we are very proud of reach that we in the last years. We can proudly say that we reached 3 million workers and employees in globally. So this is a big and thanks a lot for ATNI, for the indexes, for World Benchmarking Alliances to help really us to shape the place and to make it an intervention at the workplace that really helps to increase the productivity and the health of the employees. And I have a question to Uday and Mani, the last question. So if you can, what would you give your fellow colleagues? How would you advise, how would you guide them to embark on a workforce nutrition program? What is your advice, Uday?
Yes, Bobby. So it was discussed by Mani as well. So I strongly believe that the leadership should lead by example. So it should be top driven, especially considering the organizations and the structures in India. It must be top driven, and leadership must participate in these programs, and they should lead by example. So for the new workforces which are planning to go for the nutrition programs, I strongly advise that you start with the top and get their buy-in, and it would be a cakewalk.
Yes, thank you. And that is so nice because the CGF is led by CEOs, so there is also led by leadership. So we had very nice. Thank you for reiterating it. And Mani, what would you give the advice to other leaders around you? How could they embark?
I would just answer this in 2 words. Just go ahead. I mean, adopting a very robust model will be a next step, but going ahead and starting the initiative will actually nudge the audience or the employees. If we won't start it today, we won't follow the end result. So just go ahead and start it, whether it is at the upper management or the employee itself or the small community of your workplace. Just start today. That would be my takeaway message to all my other peer colleagues. That's it, I guess.
Yes, thank you, Mani. And in order that you can start right away and that you can start today, we offer for you a workforce nutrition masterclass. The workforce nutrition masterclass starts at 27th of March, so you can join us. You can embark on your journey today, like Mani said. Thank you all the participants. Thanks a lot for being with us. And shaping the conversation and taking the wonderful program forward and helping that your employees and workers are healthy and productive. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.